Who exactly does Rachel Reeves think she's representing? Britain's interests or her own ideological leanings? When the Chancellor of the Exchequer takes a trip to Washington with the supposed aim of reinforcing ties with the United States, only to publicly downplay that relationship in favor of the European Union, it begs a question. Is this government seriously committed to securing global trade, or is it too busy pandering to its Europhilic instinct to recognize political and economic reality? This isn't just a minor slip in wording. It's a fundamental misjudgment of tone, timing, and message. The United States is Britain's single largest trading partner, a fact not disputed by Downing Street or by any serious economist. It is also, in geopolitical terms, our most vital ally, sharing intelligence, defense frameworks, and diplomatic alignment in ways the EU never has and never will. To fly across the Atlantic and declare, with barely veiled contempt, that the EU is arguably more important is more than a diplomatic faux pas. It's a stunning display of tone deafness and an insult to the very partners she's meant to be courting. Let's not pretend this is about economic nuance. Reeves wasn't caught in a moment of academic reflection. She was broadcasting political values. This is Labour reverting to type, deferential to Brussels, suspicious of American strength, and fundamentally ill at ease with a post-Brexit global Britain. This is not a one-off comment. It's a window into the strategic confusion of a chancellor who doesn't know whether she wants Britain to be a sovereign global player or a subordinate European satellite. And in politics, confusion is dangerous. The Prime Minister's spokesman tried to walk back her comments with a vaguely neutral statement about how both the US and EU are important. But that's not good enough. At this level of international engagement, clarity is currency. What Reeves did was muddle the message at precisely the moment when Britain should be projecting confidence and intent. Imagine being a U.S. official, hearing Britain's Chancellor imply that our special relationship isn't quite so special after all, even as she stands on your soil asking for a trade deal. That's not just bad diplomacy, it's strategic self-harm. The Shadow Business and Trade Secretary Andrew Griffith was right to call it a major gaffe, and in truth, he was being charitable. This is more than a gaffe. It's a dereliction of duty from a senior figure who appears out of a depth in the international arena. If Rachel Reeves doesn't grasp the importance of perception, of messaging, of political tone when dealing with global partners, then she has no business speaking for Britain on the world stage. There's also a disturbing lack of political instinct here. Reeves should know better than to wade into a geopolitical comparison between Europe and the United States in a public forum, especially on American radio. Not only did she insult the host, she embarrassed the guest. That's not strength. That's ineptitude masquerading as principle. Britain needs leaders who can build bridges, not burn them with careless rhetoric. This could not have come at a worse time. With global trade dynamics shifting, Britain must navigate a complex and often volatile international landscape. The U.S. relationship is not just a bonus, it's essential. From tech and defense to energy and finance, the opportunities for UK-US cooperation are immense. Undermining that relationship for the sake of Eurocentric political correctness is indefensible. Worse, it plays into a growing narrative that this Labour government, though not yet in power, is itching to reverse the Brexit mindset without ever admitting it. The implication that European trade matters more because the EU is closer betrays a narrow, almost provincial vision of Britain's place in the world. What's close in geography isn't always what's strategic in value. The world is bigger than Brussels. And yet, Reeves seems intent on dragging Britain back into an orbit where the EU dictates the tempo and direction of our economic policy. That's not ambition, that's regression. The government must stop fetishizing proximity and start championing potential. The Atlantic Alliance, despite all its challenges, remains the most dynamic, innovative, and democratic economic relationship Britain can invest in. A chancellor worth her title will be setting out a bold, unapologetic case for deepening U.S. ties, not hedging with apologetic diplomacy and confusing sound bites. The fact that Reeves later posted a photo with U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, as if to paper over the damage, only underscored the hollowness of her message. Optics can't fix substance. And the substance is missing. If Rachel Reeves wants to be taken seriously, she must stop playing to the ideological gallery and start speaking to the world with conviction, clarity, and common sense. Britain needs a chancellor who understands that diplomacy is not a debate club. It's a game of high stakes where every word counts. Right now, her words are costing us.